At the beginning of the episode, Mia informs everyone about the urgency that they have to hide Sue from the interspecies squad. It turns out that the squad is looking for any illegal species living around, and Sue is one of them. Surprisingly, as the girls are devising a strategy to keep Sue hidden from Smith, the interspecies exchange security squad construction crew arrives at the door, and Kimihito answers them. Afraid, the girls flee the house from the back door along with Sue. While a part of the security squad is inspecting Kimihito's house, the girls can be seen wandering and searching for a place to hide outside. Suddenly, they notice a group of security forces and are forced to hide in the bushes by the side of the road. Just then, Poppy mistakenly spills the water on herself, which they had bought for Sue. Seeing the water on Poppy, a dehydrated Sue cannot control herself and starts licking the water from her body, making her feel strange. Poppy tries to stop her, but Sue does not listen and absorbs all the water from her body parts. On the other hand, Kimihito is confused by seeing the security officers breaking into his house to make room for another half-human species. He then runs on the streets and starts searching for the girls. At the same time, a girl in a wheelchair is uncontrollably sliding downhill and is about to crash on a metal pole. Fortunately, Kimihito arrives there in time and saves the girl from serious injuries. After this, he helps the girl to her place and introduces himself. Kimihito mentions that he is a host to numerous monster girls, and the girl introduces herself as Miro. When Kimihito asks her if she has seen half-human girls, Mira replies yes and takes him to the bush. Inside the bush, Centaurea and Mia get wet after hiding for a long time, with sweat all over their body. They also get assaulted by the dehydrated Sue, causing a loud rumbling sound behind the bush. However, when Centaurea is about to make a noise, Mia covers her mouth. Kimihito hears this and calls for them. When he approaches the place with Miro, Sue can be seen sucking water out of Mia's body. Suddenly, Sue spots Miro and rushes to attack her. But while doing so, she gets caught by Kimihito inside a plastic bag. After returning home, the group finds a new swimming pool constructed outside. Everyone assumes that the pool is for Sue, but to their surprise, Smith arrives there and reveals to them that the pool is actually for Miro, who is a mermaid, and that Kimihito is her new host. In the next scene, Mia accidentally destroys Miro's wheelchair, forcing Kimihito to carry the mermaid around the house and helping her to get to her room. Seeing all this, Mia gets envious, assuming that Miro is luring Kimihito towards her and trying to be intimate with him. She tries to get Centaurea and Poppy to assist her in stopping the mermaid, but all in vain. Shortly after, when Kimihito throws Miro into the pool to save her from a dehydrated Sue, Mia believes that she's making a love move on him. Soon, she also goes into the pool to seduce Kimihito, but ends up nearly drowning as the frigid water makes her weak. Fortunately, Kimihito arrives to her rescue and brings her back to the surface. After discovering the truth that Miro is not interested in Kimihito, Mia finally decides to relax. She hugs Miro tightly and accepts her request for taking a bath together. While they're at it, Miro explains to Mia that she has no intention of wooing Kimihito away from Mia and just wishes to experience a tragic love akin to The Little Mermaid. She then asks Mia to help her make her love for Kimihito a tragic one, and mentions that she will pray for Mia and Kimihito for togetherness. As the two continue talking, Centaurea and Poppy overhear their conversation and assume that they are conspiring. In the following scene, Mia can be seen trying to make different dishes for Kimihito. Meanwhile, Kimihito is imagining sensual postures with Mia. Sadly, while preparing the food, Mia burns her hands and screams in pain. In an effort to comfort her, Kimihito goes to Mia's room and tells her that everyone makes mistakes, and it's normal while learning new things. During this time, he discovers that Mia is shedding her skin and is finding it difficult to remove the shedded skin with bandaged hands. Kimihito then offers to help her shed, but when he starts removing the skin, Mia cannot control herself due to the feelings of his touch. With every touch, she gets aroused, and she starts moaning loudly. Unfortunately, when he tries to peel away the belly of her snake form, he inadvertently touches a sensitive area, causing her to knock him out as a reflex action. As an apology, Mia prepares varieties of food for Kimihito for dinner. He asks her where she learned to cook the food, and Mia replies that she stole his cookbook. Sometime later, Kimihito returns from the supermarket after buying some food items, and as soon as he arrives home, Sue approaches him and sticks to him. Right then, Poppy calls for Kimihito and tells him that she is about to lay an egg. After this, without hearing the full conversation, the other girls grab a weapon and start beating Kimihito, assuming that he is responsible for the egg. But when Kimihito tells them that laying an egg is normal for Poppy because she's a harpy, the girls stop and apologize to him. At the same time, Kasegi, a news reporter, shows up at their residence, claiming to be filming a documentary on interspecies trade. He provokes a number of problems when visiting the house, including photographing Miro when her swimsuit falls, grabbing Centaurea when she claims she doesn't wear a bra, and stealing Mia's shed skin. Rather than filming a documentary, he focuses his camera on the private parts of the girls and tells them that he will edit them when they protest. Suddenly, Miro shows up to inform everyone that Poppy is about to lay her egg. Kasegi seems very excited to film this egg-laying process, despite everyone refusing him from doing so. He also makes Kimihito assist Poppy to lay her egg, and starts capturing it in a different manner. Luckily, Sue reads Kasegi's mind at the moment, exposing his actual intention of selling the egg and the uncensored recording tape to gain a huge amount of money. Hearing this from Sue, everyone gets angry at Kasegi. Kimihito uses a store egg that Kasegi thinks is Poppy's to divert his attention and knocks him out in order to get the recording tape and Mia's shedded skin from him. At last, they throw Kasegi out of the house. Later, Poppy lays her egg peacefully and stores it in the fridge. Unfortunately, when Mia cooks for the second time, she unintentionally cooks Poppy's egg, leaving everyone shocked. Elsewhere, Kasegi can be seen talking to Arachne, a spider-like creature, asking her to keep her webs in place. Enraged, the spider-like creature with a half-human body wraps Kasegi in her web and hangs him. In the next scene, a group of armed orcs, half-human pigs from the Orc Pioneer Foundations, enter a Dugan shop and hijack it, capturing a number of humans hostage. Their only demand is to publish more orc-related stuff in pornographic manga series. It turns out that even the monsters in this world are addicted to pornography. Meanwhile, at the police station, the officers are trying to find out ways to save the humans who are being kept hostage by the orcs. As the interspecies exchange bill does not allow police to take action on orcs, the police are bound from attacking them. Right then, Smith arrives at the scene and asserts that she has the ability to fix the problem. The police chief acknowledges that he needs Smith's assistance and requests her to do whatever she can. Using their extraordinary sense of smell, the orcs discover a female spy, trying to sneak into the structure and shoot her multiple times. After killing her, they also discover a second female hiding inside the shop and bring her to their leader. The leader recognizes the lady as a famous character from his favorite manga series and desires to be intimate with her. During this, the lady runs to the window and removes the curtain covering it, allowing a long-range sniper, Manako, a one-eyed monster girl, to make a perfect aim and fire at the orcs. As planned, Manako aims perfectly and shoots the orcs' weapons, destroying them completely. The orcs are shocked to see someone shooting at them perfectly from a distance of over 1 kilometer. Right then, Tianishia, a robot monster girl, enters the building to free the hostages. The earlier wounded agent also wakes up and introduces herself as Zombina, a zombie. When the leader of the orcs captures the second lady and threatens to kill her, she also appears to be a secret agent and transforms herself into a sensual lady, making the leader helpless. She then introduces herself as Doppel, a shapeshifter. With this, the orcs are eventually defeated and captured. At last, Smith arrives at the scene and reveals that the secret group of girls is known as Monsters' New Law, MON. In the next scene, when the tied-up Kasegi contacts MON and asks for help, MON responds to his call and arrives at his place to arrest Arachne. Manako aims and shoots at Arachne, but fails, allowing her to escape. Back at Kimihito's house, when Poppy and Sue are bringing in the grocery items from outside, the girls realize that Kimihito is nowhere around. They, along with Smith, quickly come to the conclusion that Arachne abducted Kimihito because she thinks that he destroyed a monster's egg. Elsewhere, Kimihito awakens, shackled and hanging upside down in a desolated warehouse. He is put through agony by Arachne, who identifies herself as Rachnera Arachnera. She is shocked when he doesn't appear to be turned off by her spider-like bottom half. She tries to flirt with him, and Kimihito also fails to control his emotions, seeing her mesmerizing upper body. Soon, Smith, along with the other police officers, arrive outside the warehouse and announce that whoever attacked Kasegi needs to surrender themselves. Hearing this, Kimihito believes they are there to arrest him for attacking Kasegi. Rhaenyra tells him that her previous host didn't treat her appropriately, and that is why she ran away from his place. At last, Rhaenyra surrenders herself, and Smith apologizes to her for not providing her with a good host. Surprisingly, Rhaenyra comes to the realization that she has started to like Kimihito. With the issue fixed, Smith chooses to move Rhaenyra into Kimihito's home, leaving the latter perplexed. In the following scene, Rhaenyra fits in well as a part of the Kurusu family. Mia and Centaurea are less enthused than Poppy, Sue, and Mero, since they don't trust her. Rhaenyra tries to get closer to Kimihito and flirts with him. Seeing her try to woo the master, Mia gets jealous and asks for help from the other girls to attack Rhaenyra. Sadly, no one helps her. Centaurea starts to cling closely to Kimihito, purportedly shielding him from any awkward circumstances that Rhaenyra could set up. She tries to remain by his side and keep him safe from any possible attacks. Later at night, Rhaenyra invades Kimihito's room and tries to get intimate with him. While she's at it, Centaurea appears out of nowhere and saves Kimihito, putting him on her back and running off through the streets. Everyone present in the streets looks at them and seems surprised to see a centaur having an erotic body and carrying a human. Moments later, a group of thugs stops them and tries to molest Centaurea after capturing Kimihito. Sadly, because of the interspecies bill, Centaurea is not allowed to harm humans or attack them. Fortunately, before the thugs could lay their hands on Centaurea, Rhaenyra arrives there to save them. She wraps all of the thugs in her web, making them immovable. After saving them, Rhaenyra again tries to flirt with Kimihito and goes closer to him. Seeing this, Centaurea pulls Kimihito towards her and expresses her true feelings for him. She also mentions that she hates Rhaenyra for trying to steal Kimihito from her. Rhaenyra then reveals that she did all this to make herself confess her real feelings for the master. Later, the two eventually come to an agreement, and Centaurea understands that Rhaenyra can be trusted. After this, the three of them return home. Later, Kimihito catches a severe cold, and all the girls try their best to help him feel better. While they're trying different procedures, Miss Smith arrives there and promptly quarantines Kimihito in his bedroom. She also instructs the other girls to avoid him out of concern for a potential outbreak. She instead promises to look after Kimihito by herself, which clearly seems to be a ruse to get rid of her duties, and immediately passes out. Seeing this act of Smith, the girls realize that they need to take care of Kimihito by themselves. Soon, Centaurea deduces that Sue is the only one who can come in contact with Kimihito and not become sick. Hence, the girls decide to use Sue to take care of their master. Mia, Poppy, Centaurea, and Miro train Sue in various ways to take care of him, teaching her some erotic moves to keep Kimihito warm. In the next scene, Sue can be seen following the other girls' orders and performing their moves on Kimihito. During this time, she discovers via the use of her telepathy that Kimihito had a cold while searching for her during a downpour and blames herself for his condition. She further finds out that he's also fatigued, dehydrated, and experiencing throat pain. Sue then starts nursing Kimihito, waking up till midnight and making him drink water from her body. This procedure ultimately becomes successful, and when Kimihito wakes up, he appears to be absolutely fine. After finding out about this, the other girls immediately barge into his room. They are delighted that their master has finally recovered, and now they can again live together as one big family. While Kimihito fully recovers, Miss Smith suffers from a cold. At last, when Smith asks the MON for assistance, they refuse and provide the same lame explanation about the epidemic as she did previously with Kimihito.